Okay, Judge.
Commissioner.
This next item is something that's, asked us a couple of years ago to help them improve Elmendorf Lake. The project has taken several different lives. Board member Mr. Rodriguez has been pushing for a while there on the west to rehabilitate the west side creeks. And Sarah, he's kind of got them doing it. Of course, somebody else has to put up the money in that case, and it's us. And to the large extent, the city finally stepped up and identified the money that they were going to put into the project. And so we're partnering up now. I don't know what function the lake is going to have, Our Lady of the Lake University. It's going to improve the portal to that university. And hopefully, when we run the light rail, or for lack of a better word out there,
Streetcar.
what's that? The streetcar lines, when we extend that to that area, then that should really blossom insofar as economic development, right down that corridor, down Commerce Street, and then into that particular area. And then the citizens of that area, if we are successful in restoring the ecosystem, there's some beautiful places on that river with some very beautiful and wonderful wildlife there around the corner and all of that. So, Renee?
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Did I steal your thunder there?
No, sir. No, sir. In fact, I was going to thank you because, as you mentioned, this project had stalled a little bit, but under your leadership, it got kicked back into gear last year, and it was part of the city's 2012 bond. And as we began developing the plan for the revitalization of the lake and Apache Creek, what I'm showing you real quickly is the section that is going to be the county's direction, and this is the ecosystem restoration. And we're going to try to make that industrial section look more like the very nice trail system, and of course tie that in further upstream underneath the Commerce Street Bridge to the trail system that's already been put into place, and then connect that to the city's portion of Elmendorf Lake that's going to be revitalized as a park. What I'm showing you is a cross-section of what we hope our ecosystem restoration project will look like. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'll be more than happy to come back, Commissioner, and present a more detailed presentation on the plans for the lake. But one of the...
This is just background,
Yes.
Court members.
And but one constant in this revisioning that we've always had has been the inclusion of the Hispanic Veterans Monument. And so what I'd like to do at this point is ask Ms. Lourdes Galvan to come up and introduce the guest that she has brought with her today and give you a presentation on that monument and its potential location on the island at Elmendorf Lake. Ms. Galvan? Thank you.
Welcome, Lourdes.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for hanging in there. It's been a long time.
It has a little over 4 years now that we've started this project, this vision, and you're going to get more information on the presentation that we have for you this morning. But I'd like to start off by thanking you, first of all, for taking the time to let us come up here and brief the rest of the commissioners and the judge about what we're doing on the west side. And again, Commissioner Elizondo, thank you for taking the charge and taking the lead with us. We have quite a few folks that have been working with us for the last 4 years. A lot of organizations, a lot of EFW organizations and other military organizations that have been working with us. But what I wanted to do right now is to recognize some of the folks that are here with us this morning in support. We have with us Major General Freddie Valenzuela, U.S. Army retired. Thank you for coming, General. I thought he was going to be late, but he's here. He's also on the Hispanic Veterans Monument Committee and has also been out there trying to raise the funds for the monument. With us also we have Raul Orozco, United States Marine Corps Vietnam veteran. He's our treasurer. And we have with us also another lady who has been up there with us from day one, and that's Jasmine Asima from Jasmine Engineering Company. She is the Vice President for the Hispanic Veterans Monument. We have Gabriel Velasquez, who worked with Jesse Trevino. Jesse Trevino could not make it this morning, but Gabriel Velasquez is here with us. He's the artist. He brought a model and also a rendering of what the monument will be looking like once it's up there. We have with us, also have worked very closely with us, is Roberto Rodriguez, San Antonio River Authority Director, Precinct 2. We have Sergeant Major Gilbert Rodriguez, retired United States Army, and Junior Vice Commander of Post 8936, as well as Commander of the San Antonio Armed Forces Parade Association. We have Henry Rodriguez, the LULAC State Director for Civil Rights, and as well as other members that have been supportive and have been there with some of our fundraising that we've been doing. Ms. Nikki Coons, Velma Ortega, and Martin Silva, who is also a U.S. Army three Bronze Star recipient. Also very active in our community. There's many more that could not come this morning, but we're here and you're gonna love this presentation that we have. I'm gonna ask Captain Queta Marquez, United States Marine Corps retired, to come up here and start with the presentation, and then we'll open up for questions if you
Just
have
got
any.
back from Afghanistan.
She just retired, U.S. Marine, 20 years.
Ah.
Captain,
And your daughter.
from Lanier High School,
And your daughter.
and my daughter. Yes.
Henry's daughter, too.
Thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners, for allowing us this opportunity. In case you haven't heard, I am a retired U.S. Marine Corps captain. Very briefly, I want to give you just an overview of the Hispanic Veterans Monument, La Ofrenda project, that, as you have heard, has been ongoing for about 4 years now. We've made some significant progress, but we're ready to continue this forward momentum that we have achieved. Just to give you a little bit of background, in case some of you were not aware, and I'm pretty sure most of you are aware on the background and how this idea was conceived. In July of 2007, there was a PBS documentary on World War II titled The War. It was a 7-part series, and that particular documentary left out the significant contributions of any Hispanics and Native Americans. Now, given the magnitude of U.S. involvement in World War II, and in particular the large volume of Hispanics in that war, it was particularly disappointing to the Hispanic community and to all veterans alike. That particular production was the impetus for the idea of the Hispanic Veterans Monument. In June of 2008, when Lourdes Galvan was on City Council in District 5, she and other veterans organizations proposed the construction of this particular monument to sit on the west side of San Antonio. I think it is particularly fitting that the city of San Antonio and Bexar County, have had a significant amount of veterans who have served honorably and with distinction. As you well know, the Hispanic community and veterans of Hispanic descent have a long and illustrious history of military service. From the American Revolution all the way through today's current war in Afghanistan. And this omission was really quite disappointing and really did serve as a catalyst for the beginning of this monument. Next slide, please. The mission of the Hispanic Veterans Monument La Ofrenda Committee is to create a place of peaceful remembrance where we can honor those heroes, many of whose stories are completely unknown. We understand that due to lack of proper documentation of veterans of Hispanic heritage prior to World War II, their contributions are largely unknown, along with a lack of media or formal documentation in documentaries and other types of outlets. This particular heritage is unknown, and we think it's particularly important for the youth of our community, for the youth of the city of San Antonio and Bexar County to understand this. So this would serve as the place of remembrance for those veterans. In addition, to signify and serve as a daily reminder of their contributions and their courage that was demonstrated in the line of duty. The bottom line is we want to ensure that the memory of all veterans and the contributions that have been provided in many ways at the expense of the lives of many of these individuals is preserved, not just preserved, but recalled, much of which is largely unknown. Next slide. The La Ofrenda is a community tribute to all veterans across our country, regardless of ethnic background. However, it is from the Hispanic community's perspective. It represents an artistic expression with particular emphasis on the Hispanic culture. Next slide, please. La ofrenda is an offering. In the spirit of a traditional ofrenda, the idea is to commemorate and pay homage to our many heroes, be they a parent, a padrino, a tío, or any treasured veteran, through their memories of love, stories of struggle, and friendship. We have collaborated with Our Lady of the Lake University to assist us in documenting some of those stories that you will not find anywhere, to be able to provide that history and that education to the people of this community. Next slide, please. The monument itself, as you just heard, will be placed in the island that sits in the middle of in the middle of Elmendorf Lake Park, directly across from Our Lady of the Lake University and adjacent to Commerce Street. Again, we think that it's particularly important to realize that that particular community has had some very significant periods in their history. During the Vietnam conflict, as you may know, Edgewood Independent School District and Edgewood High School in particular suffered a disproportionate number of casualties during that particular conflict. The monument will stand approximately 140 feet tall. It's a galvanized steel structure. And the concept and design is very unique. There's nothing like it in this country. We understand that there are some Hispanic veterans monuments, but this particular concept and idea is very unique, and we think it's fitting because the city of San Antonio and Bexar County is also very unique in its place in this country. Next slide, please.
David, can you take the poster and kind of, so the folks can see? Turn it around. Yeah. Or put it up here. I don't know if they can see from there.
The design team, as you also heard just a moment ago, for the Hispanic Veterans Monument consists of Jesse Trevino, a very noted Chicano artist from San Antonio, who was a veteran of the Vietnam War and suffered severe injuries during that conflict. Although he suffered severe physical and emotional distress, he continues to pay back to his community, to serve his community through his art. He chose noted artist and community activist Gabriel Velasquez as the co-designer of this monument. This particular photo, and I don't know if you've got the brief in front of you, but this particular photo was taken at the unveiling, at a press conference and formal unveiling of the design of this monument. In the center is Jesse Trevino. To the left is Gabriel Velasquez. This press conference took place in July of 2008 at Elmendorf Lake Park. Then Mayor, former Mayor Phil Harburger, State Representative Joaquin Castro, and many other city officials were present. Next slide. Next slide, please. Just to kind of get you up to speed on the progress that has been made since 2008, we know that this has been a project that has been going on for a very long time. But there have been some significant efforts that have taken place. In August 2008, the project was brought under the management of the City of San Antonio Capital Improvement Management Services. We have had over $300,000 in pro bono work to facilitate these project requirements. Jasmine Engineering has donated a significant amount of time and resources to facilitate these project requirements, to include the geotechnical engineering study that occurred in 2009 by Rabba Kistner Consultants. In July of 2010, Zachary Construction Corporation also completed a schematic estimate report at no cost to the committee. And the bottom line is that this monument is going to cost approximately $2.3 million. But it is important to note that none of that will come at taxpayer expense. As you also just heard Ms. Green say, that we have been working directly with the San Antonio River Authority, and this project is directly in line with the vision for Elmendorf Lake Park. There will be no adverse impact to any of the West Side Creek restoration project. So we are in complete coherence with everything that is being done, and there will be no adverse environmental impact due to the construction of this monument. From 2009 to 2011, We've held an annual Patio Andaluz reunion at Plaza Guadalupe as a community awareness event. This has had some significant success, and we've got lots of support from the community. In 2011 and 2012, Bromley Communications came on board and has donated a significant amount of marketing, consulting, and merchandising resources. Their support has been invaluable to our campaign. Their resources includes in May of this year, we created the laofrenda.org website, which was created to increase visibility and awareness and to promote our fundraising efforts. Now, the way ahead for this project. Obviously, we need the support, and we need to continue collaboration with city and county entities. Thank you, Commissioner Elizondo, for allowing this opportunity and for spearheading this effort here in Bexar County. We have collaborated with various local community groups. Just recently, a local chapter of the League of United Latin American Citizens, the oldest and largest Hispanic civil rights organization, their efforts led to the passing of a national resolution at the National Convention in Orlando that was to support the Hispanic Veterans Monument. That resolution passed at the local, state, and national level this year. We are also, as I mentioned, in collaboration with Our Lady of the Lake University to help us document these stories, and various veterans organizations, as you've just heard. We've got support from some very distinguished veterans, like General Valenzuela. Thank you very much, sir, for your service. And many of the gentlemen that are here with us today. We think that it is particularly important to remember those that are no longer with us, those that are currently serving today in Afghanistan and places around the world, and those that we know will follow, because we know that without our military forces, our country's freedoms will not remain protected. The bottom line is, I believe that you've had the opportunity, or have the opportunity today, to pass a resolution that will document your formal support of this monument. Given the credibility and the influence that this commission holds, we think it is vital that we have your formal support. This will definitely help us increase our awareness, and more importantly, help us to raise dollars and pursue corporate sponsorships. You know, as a Marine of 20 years, I can tell you that I've been asked on airplanes and airports and in various public locations, you know, what can I do? What can I do to show you my appreciation? And the bottom line is, you can show your appreciation simply by not forgetting that we have had many honorable men and women who have served and continue to serve to this day. You know, we go on every day with our lives, and it's very easy to forget that right now, as I stand before you, there are men and women in Afghanistan serving very bravely, so that we can remain the great nation that we are. This monument will serve as a constant reminder, as an educational tool to ensure that their memories are preserved. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
We have a resolution. We'll go down there to present it in just a while, but I'll read it from up here. In fact, the county judge should read it.
Okay, all right.
He's got his glasses on.
Whereas Bexar County Commissioners Court supports the place of peaceful remembrance and recognition in honor of our nation's veterans. And whereas Bexar County Commissioners Court would like to remind our community of the significant contributions and courage demonstrated in the line of duty by many brave men and women. Bexar County Commissioners Court, in concurrence with the Hispanic Veterans Monument La Ofrenda Committee, seeks to enlighten public toward the better understanding of our veterans' experience and needs, including the sacrifices made by the families of our brave servicemen and women. Whereas veterans from all over Bexar County have called for the Hispanic Veterans Monument La Ofrenda Committee to design, plan, and build a monumental statue of national significance dedicated to all veterans, past and present, at Elmendorf Lake in San Antonio's west side as a gesture of their Hispanic brothers and sisters who served alongside them, and in some cases paying the ultimate sacrifice. Now therefore be it resolved that the Commissioners Court of Bexar County supports the placement of the Hispanic Veterans Monument as designed by Vietnam veteran Jesse Trevino and Kelly Air Force Base civil servant Gabriel Queta Velasquez on the lake at Elmendorf Park in San Antonio, Texas, at the central island referred to as Veterans Island, signed on our seal of office on this day by myself and the 4 commissioners. And we'd like to come down and present this to you.
Before we do,
Yeah,
Judge
okay.
Gabriel, can you show us a brief significance of the different parts of the monument?
That's a good idea. Yeah, thank you for asking that.
It's a mathematical project. It's based on the Mayan calendar.
With the
And it's
two.
representing the above world and the underworld. A transcultural architectural piece.
The tags, these are the dog tags. There's 5 tags, and they represent each branch of the service. So embossed on each stainless steel tag that measures about 6 feet by 12 feet. It's the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and on and on. And it's considered the tag that you wear. So this chain and these are all together really. This is considered the soldier. These are shoulders. So there's 2 shoulders wherever you look. And this is the head of the soldier. And this top medallion, as it turns, it really represents whatever it is that a soldier would take with him to take care of him. So it can represent many different things. But so you have your dog tag and you have your medalla, as we call them. The project's called an ofrenda because it's designed as a Dia de los Muertos ofrenda. And I'll leave you with this last idea here in terms of the value that it could have to us and in terms of remembering our soldiers, our dead soldiers, and nationally. Come November 11th, all eyes are on Washington, D.C. This is a monument, memorial that is based on November the 2nd, Dia de los Muertos. This would be a day for the nation to reflect upon the contributions and the love that we have for our veterans, but on a day that is special to the Hispanic or Latino community, a day where we bring things and build little ofrendas and take pictures and articles and bring the family together and educate the family about a particular person that we really love. So if you can imagine, on November the 2nd, that the city of San Antonio and people would come from all over the country to come to La Ofrenda, to bring a picture, to put on the little bulletin board, that's really a huge bulletin board, and that island would be filled with marigolds. And that we hope that the country would turn and recognize the fact that yes, there is the place where we quietly remember, but there's also the place that we go to celebrate and remember. And this would be that place where we would go and we would have a cup of chocolate or a cup of coffee or whatever it was that our loved one loved to drink and remember and tell the stories of that person's life.
You're going to have a little interpretive plaque that would interpret that piece of artwork and what you're representing there, that when people can come up and see it and read about what it represents?
Yes, yes. There's a very simple explanation for it. I'll give you the complicated one because, there's so many ways to look at it. But yes, there is a very simple way to tell the story of this project.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we have a graphic that's all based on kind of the math of it.
Okay.
So it's an educational project.
Present the
Yeah,
proclamation, Judge.
yeah, yeah.
Lourdes.